Just ahead of Bellator Dublin, you said to me that Bellator, through their new, the more like the focus they have on the European circuit, they've given your fighters something of like a light at the end of the tunnel. Is that something after the show that you felt on the mats that there's more of a buzz from the guys who maybe didn't get into Bellator to try?
Absolutely, it's completely changed the professional scene in Ireland. Before the thinking of the average fighter was, let's go on one of the bigger UK shows, you fight for a few hundred, and eventually, let's say Conor, you fight for a very small amount of money in the hope that you get to the big show. Now the guys are able to get to that level of financial freedom much, much sooner. And even the fact, like for me, I'm getting tired of going to the States all the time. It's a long old haul. To be able to do most of the fights, I think from September on, there will be 8 shows in a 12-month period in Europe. That's pretty much as many shows as we need to go anyway to keep all the guys I have there active. I'm sure I'll have to go to the States. Actually, I am in the States in July with a couple of the guys. But it's a big thing, and you feel it on the mat. I feel it with everybody. Just that little bit of sigh of relief that it's not just scraping money together. You get an injury, can you afford to go to a physio? That was the thing that would be part of their thinking. Now it's not. So what Bellator are able to do to the scene here it's been phenomenal. It's a huge relief for me as a coach, and it allows you to kind of make plans. Even me being able to take on another full-time coach and Dave Roach, wouldn't have been able to afford to do that in the past. So it's very exciting. I feel a very exciting period ahead of me, taking the next wave of guys and giving them great careers.
James, obviously he's only 22 years old, but he had to rebound from a loss where he's getting a lot of flack online because he puts himself out there. Have you been impressed by the way he's managed to pull it off in a headline show and then bounce back straight away?
Impressed, yes. Surprised, no. It wasn't that much of a mystery to me how he would react to that. I knew I was very confident. He's in a gym of big names. He's in a gym of the highest highs and the lowest lows. He's been part of all of that, and he's seen the right way to do things, which is just part of his personality anyway. He's got a great family behind him, great support system, and we know the difference between Instagram world and real world.
A lot of people are wondering about your relationship with Bellator, John. Is that a business relationship you guys have, or is it just the fact you have so many fighters that are fighting for them at the moment?
It's the fact I have so many fighters with them. Like if I compare, obviously the other big show is UFC, and I probably am getting 2 or 3 fights per year with the UFC. Over 30 fights in a 12-month period with Bellator. So it's literally just I have more people there. I think I've 24 signed to Bellator now. I've got Brad, Gunny, Conor. I think I've someone else with UFC too. I don't know, that's how bad my memory is. But it's just a lot less activity with them. Still dealing with the UFC quite regularly. So there's no bad feelings with me in UFC anyway. Let's make that clear.
There's no way like that people can come to this gym and they can only go to Bellator.
No. And that used to be a misconception people would have that even back in the day, say, so I'd have some guys and they say, "Oh, I don't want to do a fight in Bellator because then I'm ostracized from UFC." Whereas now we're seeing a lot more fighters cross from different promotions. I know Bellator and the show in Asia, they've kind of swapped over fighters and stuff. So I think what it's done is it's made the market more appealing to fighters, because before there was a very strong monopoly. And I think what Bellator and some of the other shows, PFL and others, they've kind of made it where the fighters have a bit more bargaining power, I guess, on where they should go. I've to be honest with you, I've actually asked the likes of Sean Shelby direct questions. Look, if a guy does a couple of fights in Bellator, is he blacklisted from UFC? And I'd rather an honest answer. And he's always said, no, not at all. At the end of the day, all organizations want successful fighters that create emotional interest in their fights. You're on a great win streak with UFC and you've got a massive following, and then suddenly you're a free agent. Of course, both organizations will want you. And that's the same the other way around. You're on a massive win streak with Bellator and you have all this media behind you, like, say, I know MVP is just coming off a loss now, but he's I'm sure he'll come back from that. But there's a guy that I'm sure when his next negotiations come up, you think UFC wouldn't jump on a guy like that fills, brings a massive crowd with him wherever he goes? Of course.
Did that Dublin show, did that even blow away your expectations? Because I think until the night, nobody realised how big that would be. Being on Sky Sports, it felt like a lot of stars were born that night as well. Does it feel like it even kind of surpassed your expectations in some way?
I had big expectations going in. I had said it was warming up to be a feel of that historic Dublin show. And it just felt like that, some of the high points in my head is Quealy's walkout, Gallagher's walkout, watching Paul Redmond make that comeback against Charlie. There was great moments in that for all the teams and the fans. I think I heard a Bellator guy, one of the high up guy execs, saying, rather than doing 5 shows around Europe, let's do 5 in Ireland. Because they just don't get a crowd like that. I think San Jose is probably the other big strong point in the States, and he said that was the kind of feel I had.
It definitely has a bigger reach than the other, like in terms of clicks and stuff like that, than the other European shows, right? Dublin seems to be a real hub for this at the moment, the European shows.
Oh yeah. Every show you could think of in Europe in the last 24 months has wanted to align with me to put on a big Dublin show, because they know the Dublin fan base is just different than anywhere else. I'm sure the London show is going to be great, and there's a great fan base there. I'm sure it's going to sell out. But there's a Dublin show, and then there's other shows. And now to have like 2 set dates a year, September and February, I believe that's going to be set for the next number of years. So I know I've got 2 big shows where I have to get the Lewis down to it. I don't have to fly anywhere. I don't have to worry about that. I can sleep in my own bed. That's fantastic. That's 2 big events per year I can kind of strike off. And I know they'll always be sold out. The last one, I think in the build-up, we were saying big things, but there was doubters online. It was like, oh, it's all big talk. And then suddenly it was sold out. It was sold out. And I think a lot of people are like, oh. So I think when the next one goes on sale, it's going to sell out even quicker, because there's so many people. Fight Week, they got in touch with me and says, give us 20 tickets for the show. And I'm like, there is none, there is none left. And I know you have to say that, but no, there actually is none left. Maybe there was some left up in the rafters, but if you want to be part of the atmosphere, if you want to be down near the cage, if you want to be anywhere in those areas where the crowd is really going, you want to pick them up when they go on sale.
Speaking of that historic Dublin show, of course, Conor McGregor was the main event, got that big win over Diego. On the Late Late Show, you said you'd hope that you would be in his corner next time. Has there been any clarification? Like, I don't think a lot of people thought that quote might have sounded like it was in doubt slightly. Is that situation in doubt at all, you, Conor and Conor?
I don't think so. I'm sure I'll be there. We talk almost daily. He doesn't obviously have a fight lined up yet, but as soon as he does, we'll get the old gang together, start plotting, training, and steal the show again. I've no doubt he'll do that.
Sean, will he return this year? Obviously a lot of potential opponents, Nate Diaz, Tony Ferguson, a lot of these guys. B. Poirier is probably going to happen in August. Is he going to fight this year, and any of those fights appealing for Conor?
I have to be honest and say I don't know. That's a question for Conor. He's got a lot of other stuff going on. I'll just be honest and say I don't know.
Right. Have you any update in IMA as well? Obviously you spoke in a recent interview with Brian Tuberty about putting a proposal together, and a better proposal this time around. What is the situation there?
So for IMA?
Yeah.
As in our proposal to Sport Ireland?
Sport Ireland.
Yep. So we have our EGM on Saturday in Cork, and we have a few, I know I'm using the wrong terminology, proposals to put forward to the membership body. If they are voted in, that will change our constitution slightly. But we pretty much have our strategic plan now done, which is for the next 4 years, and it ticks all the boxes that Sport Ireland asks us for. We have guard of vetting, child protection policies, coaching courses. We've everything done. All the work has been done. We've been kind of quiet. We've just had our heads down for the last year. We had 2 excellent consultants come in and help us with it as the board together and the membership body, and that's kind of this Saturday is the final piece of that puzzle. We get that. We have already some communication with Sport Ireland on setting up the next meeting. I want to go to them when we have those proposals passed by the body and say, look, here we are. We've ticked all the boxes. We want to be our own national governing body, and let's stress test it. They might come back and say, well, yeah, you did great on these, but these 2 points have to be fixed. We'll fix them and we'll propose again. But we're not going anywhere. We're a big sport. We've got big membership. We've got big numbers. We had Wingman there on Sunday. That's shown a slightly different side. Obviously, this side here, this side here is about the very tippy top 1% professionals. But as you guys know, there's a huge base of the pyramid there that's casual people that just train for fun, and obviously the big amateur scene now. And those guys deserve the recognition that the boxers are getting, that the table tennis players are getting, the tennis players, the swimmers. We're a real sport. Like Pinocchio said, we're a real boy, we're a real sport. And we're going to them. We want regulation. We want to be told what we have to fix.
But is the real problem on their end in terms of them, not wanting to learn about the sport still? Is that still an issue if they reached out to you and wanted to learn about the sport? Because obviously there's a clear differentiation between what you want funding for, which is the amateur side of the sport, in terms of relation to the professional side.
Yeah, and when you say reach out, like it's us that have to reach out to them, and we weren't ready yet. We have recently in the last few weeks, and they've responded favourably to our request for a meeting, and they're interested and they're complimented us on some of the work we've already done. So I guess our next meeting I'll be better able to answer that to you. But I'm always an optimist, so I'm very optimistic. I think that when the guys see, when Sport Ireland see what we've done since we've last seen, and when we hadn't done all the things that were required for a new sport to go on that journey towards recognition. We have now, we're ready. This Saturday is a very, very important general meeting for the body. We need to get our resolutions passed. We need to get our resolutions passed, which I'm very confident of. Fix all that up, and then in we go. And let's get it passed.
John, next question. You had the SmackDown Women's Champion from WWE, Becky Lynch, in here last week. Can you tell me a bit about what happened there?
Yeah, she's been in a few times. She actually used to train in SPG 10 years ago, believe it or not. She used to do privates in SPG City Centre. I always heard about this crazy wrestler girl that was learning flying arm bars and stuff, but I didn't really know anything about her. Fast forward all these years, and then she was in a couple of months ago, and then she was in again last week, and then we had Big Sheamus. He showed up yesterday. We did a workout with him. So yeah, we're starting to kind of get a bit of a bond with WWE. Anytime one of their stars is in town, they tend to drop by. There was the tag team champion guy, Brian.
Daniel Bryan,
Yeah, he was in. He was a great guy. It's always, it's a bit of fun. Show them a few moves. They show us a few moves.
And you went to the show then the next time?
I went to the show that night, and I've never been to one. I'd never been to a live one. I actually hadn't even watched one since I was a kid, since Hulkamania. And what I did notice, I could feel right away, was when Becky walked out. There's this star quality, people are always like, what's it between Conor and this guy? And it's so hard to quantify, but there's such a rare quality called charisma, which a handful of people on the planet have, and she has it. And she just walked up, and it was just a different feel. The whole crowd, you feel this electricity. And she held them all in the palm of her hand. She's a great performer. She's a lovely person, great girl, and she's always welcome here.
Right, let's swap it up, guys.